So recently head out to the Chinatown area of Old Bangkok, which is located on this road called Yaowarat Road. And it's a road of about maybe 2 or 3 kilometers long. And it's full mostly of restaurants, Chinese restaurants, and of course a lot of stalls. The typical type of restaurant you'll find on this street here is selling like Chinese type soups. Specifically, a lot of you in the West wouldn't like would be shark fin soup, and a lot of the stalls and shops, they're also selling various types of dried goods and herbs, Chinese style herbs. And so that's a good source of this kind of stuff if you like that. For example, goji berries and different kinds of forest herbs and mushrooms and stuff that are all dried and used to make herbal remedies and different kinds of soups. But yeah, other than that, you have fruit stalls, people selling all kinds of desserts, and it's pretty happening part of town. This is even in a so-called middle of a crisis, pandemic in the world, and so you still got people wearing masks and such going about. But for the most part, business as usual, and the traffic is just going along. So yeah, Chinatown is also famous for its gold shops. So Thai gold is typically 23 to 24 karat, which means it's about 95 to 96% purity. The other 3 or 4% being some other kind of alloy. But yeah, it's a famous place where you see a lot of gold shops throughout the whole Yaowarat Road, as explained, and even outside of this area and also throughout Thailand, you have a lot of gold shops who associate themselves with this area of Thailand, Yaowarat Road, which is traditionally considered a source of gold trading. And so yeah, most of the gold here is sold in necklaces and rings and in earrings and such, because people like to preserve their gold that way and either wear it or keep it in a safe, for example. But yeah, other than that, you have a lot of like little crafty stalls and stuff selling stuff to the local people and people of Chinese descent, mostly coming and basing around here. But yeah, it's good to see every now and then. Here's one of the gold shops I was mentioning. But yeah, they're throughout the whole entire road and area. You'll find a lot of gold shops. And right now, the Thai gold is selling, if I'm not mistaken, for about 28 to 29,000 baht per baht weight of gold. And the baht weight of gold is something like 15.8 grams, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if I've got it wrong, but something like that. So divide that by 15 to get that baht, to convert it to dollars if you're really interested. But anyway, yeah, we were just taking a stroll because we were in the area, and my wife wanted to go to some Chinese temple to sign up for some free traditional Chinese medicine checkup, which is another story. But as you'll see here, I'm going to go into this other side street, which has more food stalls and noodle shops, and of course, like I said, dried goods, and those being sold a lot. But yeah, Chinatown in Thailand is not the same as I recall anyway of the Chinatowns in the U.S. With the Chinatowns in the U.S., there are a lot of like I guess Asian markets and areas where you get live produce as well. But yeah, the feeling is a little bit different. I guess it feels more like just like a busy street in the old part of town of Bangkok. Of course, you have a lot of the signage with Chinese letters and stuff, but because Asia is similar in a lot of ways, it doesn't seem much different. Whereas Chinatown, from my recollections in the U.S., it's like this very exotic place in town. It's very different from the surrounding areas, whereas Chinatown here, it's not that much different from the surrounding streets of Old Town Bangkok, because the old part of Bangkok, a lot of the streets are very similar, and they were mostly built up and the communities of people of Chinese descent who migrated to Bangkok and to Thailand anywhere from the last 50 to 100 years ago. And basically, anybody who's familiar with history here knows that the Chinese people who migrated from mainland China, southern part of China mostly, around the turn of the century, that is the 20th century, so the early 1900s, Okay, and that wraps up the clip. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you again on the flip side.